Hello, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to MK Convenience Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, we're gonna go over New York State Department of Motor Vehicle license for passing a New York State DMV vehicle for a regular car. Now, for those of you that are trying to take the CDL test or motorcycle test, check out my channel. I do have videos on how to pass a CDL Class A, B, and C, how to pass a Class C, how to pass a Class M motorcycle. We have a tow truck class, escort vehicle, and so much more. Check out my channel, you'll find more about it. But this one is just going to be on how to pass a general DMV driving license. That's the first initial step you guys need in order for you to pass the license. There's a lot of information in this. We're going to have a couple of parts of the video of the New York State DMV. We will have multiple videos for this. Hopefully, I'll try to crunch it as smaller videos as possible so that this way we could finish it. I probably might not go over every part of the detail of the New York State DMV, but I will try to go pinpoint as much as possible for the questions that they might ask during the New York State DMV driving test. So with all ado, let's start. So we'll always keep in mind something, that whenever you go take the fill out the applications, if you, and this is a lot of times people have a thought in their mind and they don't want to ask that question. I want to clarify something. The organ donor part is completely voluntarily. If you want to be part of an organ donor to help out people, you can, but if you don't want to, you don't have to be. A lot of times when you go to the DMV, you have to fill out the application. On the bottom of the portion, on the MV44 part, they'll ask you, do you want to be an organ donor? Especially when you pass away, if you want to do one last good deed, you could donate your part of your body to help out somebody, save somebody's life. But again, this is completely voluntarily. You don't have to do it. A lot of people get confused and they don't understand if they have to fill out it or not. I just want to throw it out there. Let me zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, there's multiple parts. Part 1, we'll learn about information for driver and vehicle's owner. Part 2 is going to be about the rules of the road. Part 3, we're going to learn about safe driving tips. Part 4, we're going to be going to further parts of the summary section. So once everything is done, we're going to summarize everything and we're going to go from there. But we have up till chapter 12, and then obviously we have DMV consumer directories and everything. That's, that's something that shows the DMV offices, the county offices, but it's up to 12 chapter. Today we're just going to do table of contents in chapter 1. Once we're done with chapter 1, other videos will go forward, maybe chapter 2, 3, and 4. Maybe we'll go 2 or 3 or 4 chapters together. We'll see what time permits and everything. So part 1 is information for driver and vehicle owner. So in order for you to drive in New York City, just keep in mind there's certain rules and regulations you have to follow. And the reason I ask that, because in the New York City DMV, or New York State DMV should I say, we have certain rules and regulation. So a type of license, and it tells you right here, there's 6 types of non-commercial driving license. There's the reason they have 6 types because some of them has restrictions and some of them don't. But regardless, either or, we have to take it. For example, the first one is operator class D. The minimum age, you have to be 18 years or over, or age 17 with a driver education certificate. You have to, your vehicle, gross vehicle weight rating can't be more than 26,000 pounds. It can tow a vehicle up to 10,000 pounds. There's certain restrictions, as you can see. Then there's class DJ, which is your minimum age is 16, and you could drive a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds or less. Again, you see as these restrictions because you're under 16 and 17. Now you have non-CDL Class C. Your minimum age is 18, allows you to drive some vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating of 26,000 pounds. Then this taxi/livery Class E. Your minimum age is 18. It allows you to drive a Class Z vehicle as well. And the only difference is you could pick up passengers. Like, it's usually for people that are driving for Uber, Lyft, yellow cabs, green cabs, and stuff like that. So that's basically what it is. Class M is a motorcycle license. If you're trying to drive a motorcycle, that's what the license is for. Class MJ is a junior motorcycle license. Just like how we have DJ, MJ is also the junior, but there's restrictions on it as well. Enhanced driving license, again, is another part where people, if they're trying to, go to like countries like I don't know, like Canada or somewhere close to it where you might not use a passport, you could use an enhanced driving license. And it tells you over here, U.S., Canada, Mexico, Bermuda, and the Caribbean island. Basically, you could use it instead of a passport. Real ID license, again, is a federal law passed by the Congress resulting from the 9/11 Commission recommendation. It establishes a requirement for the state-issued driving license. Real ID license is basically having a license, but you cannot obviously drive a vehicle, but it's a license you could use. Personal used vehicle rental RV type of license. As you can see, remember those big RVs you see in the movies? That's what the R endorsement is. Again, it's another thing you could look into it if you're trying to get an RV driving license. When you apply for your first license, again, those of you that are trying to take the license for the first time, you have to fill out the MV44 form. You have to take a test. Once you pass your test, we go from there. It's very simple, because you're gonna go to the DMV, you're gonna provide your proof of age, you're gonna provide your proof of name, you're gonna show your documentation that has up to 6 points. Obviously, passport, social security card, valid reentry, travel documents, stuff like that provides you up to 6 points. Once you have the 6 points, you could go in and take the driving test. You have to bring that every single time if you do not pass. People end up forgetting that. They think that it's only once a thing and that's it. No, you have to do it again, unfortunately, if you don't pass. Once you pass, and obviously it's different. But until then, you keep in mind you have to do it. So these are, again, additional 4 points. As you can see, if you read through it, the license itself, if you have a license already, for those of you that are trying to go for A, B, and C CDL, if you have it already, that's 6 points right there. But if you don't, as you can see, each document below has a value of 4 points, and it tells you right over here. Each document value has up to 3 points right over here. All these lists of requirements. Each document below has a value of 2 points. As you can see, the list of requirements over here. 1 point is the list of requirement over here. Proof of age, again, they might ask you for your birth certificate. Make sure you bring your birth certificate. If you have an out-of-state birth certificate, make sure it's been translated or transferred by the New York State standards, and they might accept that. Vision and written test, you do have to have a 20/40 vision as well, at least in one eye, with or without corrective lenses. So keep in mind that makes a big difference. But a lot of times, the first time if you go down there, you might have to do the vision test, but whenever it comes to renewal, you might not need it. If your doctor is providing DMV provider, you could just do the vision test from there. The learner's permit and road test, again, once you do everything, you pass your written test, you pass it, you do have to go through the road test as well. Road test is not bad. I mean, as long as you know what you're doing, you should be okay with it. So keep that in mind. These are the regional restrictions for junior permit. Again, for those of you that are under 18, you do have restrictions. As you can see, this is you must drive only under the immediate supervision of your parent, guardian, person, driver education instructor, driving school. These are some of the restrictions from 5 to 9. Long Island's from 5 to 9. Upstate, it's the same exact thing. It gives you restrictions for you to drive, so this way you get in an accident, especially kids in the nighttime. They like to go out and everything. So that's the reason why there's restrictions on it. Just keep that in mind, and you don't, mess up on your license and everything. It gives you, this is the definitions of the school, guardians and everything else, so I would look into it before we do that. Preparing for the road test, a lot of times people go in and take the road test and everything. Just keep in mind, I always tell the students of mine, for those of that are planning to take the road test, I always tell them, just hear me out when I tell you what to do when I'm teaching you. A lot of times students mess up in the parallel parking. That's something big. Backing unsafely, making a left or right turn, broken U-turn, some of the common mistakes that people do, and they do because under pressure, because it's test time, they end up getting pressured. So I always tell them, listen, it's not the end of the world. Go ahead. If you don't pass, it's not a big deal. You go take it again. Think of it as enjoyment. You're there to enjoy. You're there to have fun. What's the worst gonna happen? You're gonna fail? Okay, whatever. You could always take it again. It's not that big deal. A lot of times, if you create yourself that stress, that thinking like, oh my god, then obviously you're just doing this. You're not doing anyone a favor. You're just messing up your own thing. But if you go there thinking that, what, I don't really care. Like, I don't pass or not, I could take this as many times as you want, and that's how it is. The permit is good up to, I believe, for a year. So you have a lot of times because you could renew it. The permit, you could renew it, but think about it. You have up to, even if it's 6 months, that's a lot of times for you to practice. And one thing I always tell some of my students is, if you are practicing, make sure you stick with one car. Every car has its own feature. I volunteered for a mechanic shop, and I can tell you right now, not every car is the same. Every car is built differently. If you open up the hood, it's not the same. It's like an operating table when I work in a mechanic shop. Every single thing is differently. The oil change is different. The alternator is different. The tested batteries are different. Some are in the back, some in the front. When you're driving a vehicle, it has a different power to it. So if you're driving a 2001 Lexus and you go on a road test and you take your 2022 Porsche, you're not gonna be able to do good. Why? Because when you're there, you're not used to you're not used to of the vehicle, so you might mess it up. So always take the vehicle that you're most comfortable in, especially where you've been practicing a lot, so you're already comfortable. I will have another video of what the instructors might look for and to see when you do the road test. But let's try to go with our written test for now. Driver education. Again, if you're 17 years or you're eligible to a senior driver license class D or M. Again, if you have to be 17, you might be eligible for a class D or M license. D is for driver license, M is for motorcycle license. But once you become, the age of 18, 19, automatically your DJ will change to D or C or E, whatever you want to do. Let's go down to the operation restriction. Again, junior operator restriction. You cannot drive more than one passenger under the age of 21 unless they are a member of your immediate family. You and each passenger must wear a seatbelt, one per person. Every child passenger must use a correct child restraining seat, Chapter 8. We'll go over there later on. Also, see special rules for driver with junior's permanent license. The reason they're asking for a lot of junior permits qualification, because usually that means that they're going to ask you on the road test. A lot of people forget that licenses are not only for adults; it's also for junior driver license members as well. You have to make sure you know both rules. You need to know as a driver license for Class D and also for Class DJ as well. Driving alone with a junior license. Again, these are some of the restrictions that you should look into it. Pause the video, look into it so that you can have a better understanding what it is. Again, the 9 to 5 is something common, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. This is 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So just keep it in mind. Let's go over the part. Again, motorcycle and moped operator. Again, depending on what visit license you have, it could be license Class M or Class MJ. We have to go through it. Change of address. Now, if you ever want to change your address, you must notify the DMV within 10 days by mail or change of address from MV 232 form. Once you do that, or you could go on the website. For those of you who are tech savvy, you could just go on the DMV website and do that from there. It's really easy, to be honest with you. License renewal, again, it's every 10 days, but they'll let you know 45 days beforehand that your license is about to expire. They probably mail it to you. Sometimes people forget, but they'll mail it to you to remind you. If not, just make sure you are responsible for your license, so you always look through it. Non-resident and new resident driver. If you're a resident of another state or county and hold a valid driver license, there you can drive in New York State. You should not apply for a New York driver license unless you become a resident of the state. A lot of times, if you are not living in New York City, do not apply for the license. Because if you live in New Jersey, why are you applying for a license in New York City? I don't know if it's a requirement for your job or what the case is. That might be different. But if you live in New Jersey, you should have a New Jersey driving license. Again, if you were living in New York City and you moved to Jersey, you could always transfer through your license with Jersey and you could get a Jersey license. That's it for Chapter 1. As you can see, the questions are very, very common. The Chapter 1 was mostly rules information. We'll go over other parts and we'll go over other chapters as well. Just keep in mind with different licenses type. They'll ask you on the test, can a DJ driving junior license drive at a certain hour? Then you should know that this is the restrictions for them. DJ and Class MJ as well. Again, with the weight classes and everything, they might throw a trick questions in there and ask you for that question as well. You have to be on point in order for you to do what has to be done. With that being said, that's a bit about Chapter 1. We went over the table of contents. We went over Chapter 1. In the next video, we're going to go over Chapter 2 and 3, and then we'll go forward from there. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. If you have any other questions, comment, concern, please comment, like, subscribe. I'll try my best to help you as much as possible to clarify any confusion you guys have. All these questions that I'm reading from are coming from the direct DMV website. This is the DMV. This is what they follow. This is where I'm reading you guys from. Again, any questions at all, let me know. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.